grade 8 students, welcome to our new video. And in this video we are going to start with new chapter, that is chemical effects of electric current. So please open your textbooks. So students, let us start with the chapter. Substances which allows electric current to pass to it is called as conductors. So what are conductors? The substance which allows to pass the electric current through it. Example, can you see metals, gold, iron, aluminium, steel, copper and silver. And on the other hand, substances which do not allow electric current to pass through it are called as insulators. So what are insulators? Which do not allow to pass electric current through it. So example, can you see the non-metals? Yes, plastic, rubber, glass, cloth. These are called as insulators. So can you see the two beakers are there. In one beaker there is a tap water and in the other there is distilled water. So the tap water, it contains salt solution and that is why it is a good conductor of electricity. Whereas distilled water, it does not has any type of salt. So it is a bad conductor of electricity. Liquid which conduct electricity are the solution of which consist of acid, bases and salt. So can you see in the above table, the liquid and the metallic needle if deflects and the good conductor or the poor conductor. So here it is given the lemon juice, so it is yes, and it is a good conductor. The same, that is vinegar, tap water and distilled water. So in distilled water there are no presence of salt, so it is a bad conductor of electricity. So the chemical effects of electric current. In class 7th we have learned some effects of electric current. Can you list these effects? What effect does the current produce when it flows through a conducting solution? So let us find out. Activity 14.6. Take out carbon rods carefully from two discarded cells. So we are going to take carbon rods from the discarded cell which are not usable. Clean their metal caps with sandpaper. Wrap copper wires around the metal caps of the carbon rods and join them to a battery. We call this two rods, that is electrodes. So can you see the two rods, which are those? They are known as electrodes. Carbon rods, you may take two iron nails about 6 cm long. Pour a cupful of water in a glass plastic bowl. Add a teaspoon of salt or a few drops of lemon juice to water to make it more conducting. Now immerse the electrodes in this solution. Make sure that the metal caps of the carbon rods are outside the water. Wait for 3 to 4 minutes and observe the electrodes carefully. Do you notice any gas bubbles near the electrons? Can we call the change taking place in the solution a chemical change? So recall the definition of chemical change that you have learnt in standard 6. So can you see in the diagram the two carbon rods, okay, the metal cap and the water, that is solution, which we had added lemon juice to water. The passage of an electric current through a conducting solution causes chemical reaction and as a result bubbles of gas may be formed on the electrode. So when the passage of an electric current passes through a conducting solution, the bubbles are formed on the electrodes. Deposit of metal may be seen on electrodes. Changes of color of solution may occur and the reaction would depend on what solution and electrodes are used. So these are some of the chemical effects of the electric current. So this is the example of an effects of chemical electric current. Now let us see the electroplating. You know that a brand new bicycle has shiny handlebar and a wheel rims. However, if these are accidentally scratched, the shiny coating comes off, revealing a not so shiny surface beneath. You might have also seen women using ornaments which appear to be made of gold. However, with repeated use, the gold coating wears off, revealing silver or some other metal beneath. In both these cases, a metal has a coating of another metal. Do you wonder how a layer of one metal can be deposited on the top of the another? Well, let us try doing it ourselves. So, whenever you see the ornaments, there is a coating over it. Okay, the metal has a coating of another metal on that it. So, let us see activity 14.7. We will need copper sulfate and 2 copper plates of size around 10 cm into 4 cm. Take 250 ml of distilled water in a clean and dry beaker. Dissolve 2 teaspoons of copper sulfate in it. So you are going to take a beaker and water, distilled water into it, 250 ml. And you are going to dissolve teaspoon of copper sulfate. Add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to copper sulfate solution to make it more conducting. In that, what we are going to add? To add copper sulfate solution. Clean copper plates with sandpaper. Now rinse them with water and dry them. Connect the copper plates to the terminals of the battery and immerse them in copper sulfate solution. So can you see in this diagram, okay, a simple circuit showing electroplating, the copper plate which are dipped into it and the copper sulfate solution. Allow the current to pass for about 50 minutes. Now remove the electrodes from the solution and look them carefully. Do you find any difference in any one of them? Do you find a coating over it? What color is the coating? Note down the terminal of the battery with which this electrode is connected. So when electric current is passed through the copper sulfate solution, copper sulfate dissociates into copper and sulfate. So when this electric current is passed through the copper sulfate solution, what happens is dissociate into copper and sulfate, and the free copper gets drawn to the electrode connected to the negative terminal of the battery, and where it is connected to the negative terminal of battery and gets deposited on it. But what about the loss of copper from the solution? From the electrode, a copper plate and equal amount of copper gets dissolved in the solution. Thus the loss of copper from the solution is restored and the process continues. This means that copper gets transferred from one electrode to the other, and the process of depositing a layer of any desired metal on another material by means of electricity is called as electroplating. So what is electroplating? Where the process of depositing layer of a desired metal on the another material with the help of electricity, that is known as electroplating. It is one of the most common application of chemical effects of electric current. Electroplating is a very useful process. It is widely used in industries for coating metal objects with a thin layer of a different metal. So where it is used in the industries. The layer of metal deposited has some desired property which the metal of the object lacks. For example, chromium plating is done on many objects such as car parts, bathtubs, kitchen gas burners, bicycle handlebars, wheel rims and many others. So these are the examples where metal is deposited. Chromium has a shiny appearance. It does not corrode. It resists scratches. However, chromium is expensive and it may not be economical to make the whole object out of chromium. So the object is made from a cheaper metal and only a coating of chromium over it is deposited. So the object, as it is expensive, so object is made from cheaper metal and only a coating of chromium is deposited over it. Jewelry makers electroplate silver and gold on less expensive metal. These ornaments have the appearance of silver or gold but are much less expensive. Tin cans used for storing food are made by electroplating tin into iron. Tin is less reactive than iron. Thus, food does not come into contact with iron and is protected from getting spoiled. That is why it is packed in tin, so that it is not spoiled easily and it is protected. Iron is used in bridges and automobiles to provide strength. However, iron tends to corrode and rust. So, coating of zinc is deposited on iron to protect it from corrosion and formation of rust. So, iron is used in bridges, yes, and iron is liable to corrode. So, the coating of zinc is deposited on iron to prevent it from corrosion. In the electroplating factories, the disposal of the used conducting solution is a major concern. It is a polluting waste and there are specific disposal guidelines to protect the environment. Students, these are the question answers that you are going to write down in the notebook. This is also question answer and you are going to complete your notebook. List the possible effects when an electric current is passed through a conducting solution. So this is the answer. Students, hope you all are clear with this chapter. If you have any queries, you can ask me on personal WhatsApp number.